Elio guys, and welcome back to yet another account review. An account review that is a couple months in the making, but hey, we're here today, let's not really talk about that. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Avvas' account. I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's Avvas, so Avvas, I'm assuming. And he's given me full permission just to go ahead and peek around and see what he has working with. So let's go ahead and give it a go, shall we? Alright, I forgot, shameless plug. Also, if you guys do like the video, feel free to like it, subscribe, all that good stuff. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you want your own account review done, feel free to check the description below, which will link you to the Discord, and we can talk up there. But first off, let's go over here and see what type of PvP and Golem situation he has going on here, because this is kind of technically like an account review, but also because we're here, why not just be nosy? So it looks like he's obviously capable of doing Colossus, which if your account's over level 60 and you can't do Colossus, you need to go ahead and just see me, boys. But let's see right here. Is this an actual B15 team? I think he mentioned that this was a B11 team, but you know what? Let's go and see how it performs in B15, because why not? It probably will not work out, I estimate, just because it takes some good gym quality to do this. Not saying that his gym quality is bad, because we literally just got into the account, but I'm just curious to see how well this will go. And why does everyone have freaking variant Drakas? Like, I don't have a single variant Fire Draka, and I only have 2 of them. My dude is rocking a freaking Super Evo Fire Loki though. I have never seen an Evo 3 Fire Loki. Oh yeah, let me get the damage up here as well. I mean, they're taking the hits though. Alright, that left Draka's damage is really good. Alright, so far so good. No one has died. Let me go ahead and just help the game out here and target the boss. And I mean, they're making it through. Oh, Seal, dude. Seal is trash. See, that's the biggest problem with freaking Golem's B15, is the stupid amount of resist on this F word is just disgusting. I only got one stack of sap on this dude. Like, what the flip, dude? Is Artemis on a healer set? Because her HP was coming back. Yeah, look at that. Just being destroyed by RNG. And it's like, oh, I do have Seal, but I can't actually use it because I'm freaking sealed. Then Draka's down, but I mean, as long as Draka can get here to the waves, it's not that big of a deal. Look at all that resist, dude. I mean, obviously I said before that this is for his B11 team, but if you were going to run B15 with a composition similar to this, obviously someone needs to have resistance down, or someone needs to have discernment, which comes from like someone like Hana, for this to be actually viable. But 2 minutes and 40 seconds, almost died, but he didn't. So he was able to clear it out here. We got a crit rate gem, which is Gem of Fortitude. I'm going to just sell that for you. So if you see this video, congratulations, I got you some more gold. But definitely capable of doing, obviously if you can clear out Golem's B15, B11 shouldn't be no problem at all. Let's slide over here to the hero dungeon. Alright, all of that stuff is done. Nice to know. The Dimensional Rift though, looks like he's ran that as well. So I mean, dude is on a mission. He's getting stuff done. What about the Tower of Chaos? 51, 45, 50, 44, 44. Honestly, I'm 99% sure I'm around this same boat with the Tower of Chaos for the elemental ones. I've just been super duper lazy, and you know, after running everything else in the game for the day, I'm just like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna log off. Let's see what he's working with in terms of the Astramon League though. Currently in the Diamond tier, his defense team is a Dark Sig, Dark Sea Star, Fire Vic, Water Purse, and a Hidden Light Yugi. So he could just be farming out points right here. It really just depends on what other monster he has in his party. So let's go ahead and see what else he's working with here in terms of potential compositions. Not saying that is required, but just potential compositions. So obviously you would hopefully bring like a Lightmon here to try and counteract both C-Star and Siegfried, which kind of makes sense there. Also with Purse doing passive healing, and then Vic there. Vic is here to be super duper annoying. Vic, aka Nike. Then the Light Yuki Hayden is kind of Monka-esque though, because once one of these die, Light Yuki is going to come out, but depending on what killed one of these characters, she might die immediately depending on her build, which I'm going to go ahead and assume right here is probably a good probable cause. But he does have a Fire Valk here, which is always nice, especially if you can pair her up with someone else. There's a Water Wild Fang, Light Leo, Light Suck. Always love that Light Suck, man. There's a Light Gilga. There's another Light Yuki, another Light Leo. Light Wild Fang, Light Banshee, Dark Wild Fang, Dark Yuki, Dark Cupid. So he's obviously capable of doing different compositions. I can already tell you that. He could run like a straight up light team. He could run a straight up dark team. He could kind of have a mix of both, because with Cupid getting his shield up, that's always a nice plus. Plus with Dark Yuki having her SP Siphon and Sap, that can be super duper annoying depending on her build. Dark Wild Fang can obviously nuke depending on her build. While Dark Miho isn't optimal, depending on what type of team that he's running, she could just be there for tankiness and being super duper annoying. There's also Dark Suck as well, which is what I was actually hoping to see, because with her recent buff and her ability to do stuns, that could also be super helpful in just a dark composition. Like if you ran like Dark Siegfried, Dark C-Star, Dark Suck, and like Dark Cupid or something of that nature. That way, not only can there be shields getting up, but you have a whole bunch of aggressors, which, you know, they're going to take a little bit of time to kind of chip away at and get down, which could be super duper annoying. So he definitely has different ways that he could run teams. In terms of his Lightmons, these are only the variants, by the way. Light Banshee could always be on the defensive team. Light Leo, I mean, running, depending on Light Leo's build, you could possibly even run 2 Light Leos if you're feeling froggy, but I would like run something like Light Leo mixed with Light Jean or Light John, with also, what did I say, Light Suck, Light Leo, Light John, and then also, I mean, you could do Light Yuki, but I would also prefer someone else is probably going to be tanky here. I mean, you could put in like Banshee instead, because she is tankier than Yuki, while her sap isn't, not her sap, but her shock isn't as potent. She is viable. What about this baby girl over here? I mean, even at this point, Light Verde could work in this scenario. Let's see what the other Mons are, though. I know that we're going to his Mon box, but we're in this PvP situation anyway, so it's like, why not? He also has Light Nightmare. So that would actually go perfect with what I said before. With, you could even run, depending on their builds, like Light Leo, Light Suck. You can go ahead and throw in Baby Girl, Light Nightmare, and then whoever else that you want at this point in time. Or you could replace that with Light Griffin as well. And who is this, Sanzang? Battle Russian Shock. Not my favorite, but it is what it is. And then offensive team. Let's see what he's working with here. Looks like he fought some Mons. His current team is Light Leo, Light Suck, also Light Griffin, and then Light Yuki. So something very, very similar to what I was saying before. Obviously, if he had maybe like even like a Light Hana, that could be a little bit better with her Discernment lead, or even Dark Merlin to kind of be like a bait for Mons. But PvP is one of those scenarios where things are constantly changing, so you're constantly changing up your composition. And what I could recommend for a team that he's fighting this time, the next player could come across something totally different. But as we can see here, his Mon box is already plentiful, so there's a lot of options that he can choose from. Alright, moving on next, so right before we get to the Mon box, let's go ahead and take a super duper sneak peek here with his freaking stones. Let's see if he has anything popping over here, you guys. So, not that many fire ones. There's some water, some wood on the way, also some light and dark. So it looks like he might have used them recently, or he's just in the process of crafting more, or he just totally forgot, because all his mons that he has is currently Super Evo that he plans on using. So why even bother coming to this screen? Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, obviously if you're participating in Clans Fest, is a good way to earn super stones without being on that basically one day delay for crafting your stone. So do keep that in mind. And now let's go over here to his mod box. As always, I'm this weird guy over here. I have to have it on element because I just prefer element. Attack does nothing for me. Kinds does nothing for me unless I'm trying to find a specific mon to feed into the other ones. Recent is good for releasing any astromon that you get, especially these nat 3s, but other than that, I'm always one of those element guys, man, so don't judge me. But let's take a look at his storage real quick since he does have the Hanamura. Let's see, we got some nat 5 action up in here. This seems to be like the nat 5 area. There's a variant Water Indy, aka Indra, another Shinobi, Xiaowu Jing, a Fire Indra, a little baby Fire Draka, Fire Artemis, Poseidon, another Wood Merlin, 3 Shaherazads, 2 Wood Artemises, or Artemis, whatever the heck you want to call it, Light Imperato, there's Shadow, Dark Imperato, Dark Sarah, another Light Enkidu, looks like he also has Light Hohenheim, and also Light Poseidon, which, hold on you guys, hold on, let's back it up real quick, let's go ahead and be nosy right here and right now and see just how many light and dark nat 5s that he has, because I'm just curious at this point. Obviously, taking into consideration here the contract mons, if you have like a light Odin or a light Valk or light Arthur or the dark versions of those mons, I don't count, but anything else is all free game here. So there's like Gilgamesh, which is 1. Who else? Light Gilga, Light Enkidu, which is 2, Light Sanzang, which is 3, Light Barona, which is 4, Light Nightmare, which is 5. Anyone else? Doesn't seem to be for the light mons, but that's 5 already. And then in terms of dark mons here, that are nat 5s, Shadow doesn't count because he was an event mon, so if you played the game, there's a chance that you could get him. Dark Merlin's also fusible, but right now I'm at 5. Light Enkidu makes it 6. Light Hohenheim doesn't count because once again she's fusible. So it looks like he has pulled in 6 light mons basically, and no real dark nat 5s at all. But still, that's some pretty good luck, dude. Once again, Dark Siegfried doesn't count because if it's farmable, I don't count it because anyone could get it if you put in enough time and effort. Then also some more fusion mons, it seems, right here. Then the other storage is just nat 4s. Okay. Plenty of Hanas, plenty of Light Phoenix. There's some Todor action going on here. Another Light Suck. Oh man. Oh man. Alright, you guys. Let's go ahead and focus though and see what he's working with right here. He has a Fire Leo on a Pugilist set. But why? He's not even booked up. But why? Crit rate gem, HP gem, attack gem. I mean, he's almost at max crit too. Not even booked up, but super evolved. I mean, maybe his books went to Light Leo, so I'm not going to judge him too harshly for that. There's also a Fire Sea Star over here. Crit rate, attack, HP. That's fine. Obviously, her crit rate could be higher, but he may only use her for the Nat 3 League. Let's take a look at that Fire Loki, though, that we had before. Alright, he does have some enhancements. I know that Fire Leo had some enhancements as well, but I didn't really bother checking them because he was on a Pugilist set unbooked, but super evoed, so interesting. Well, let's take a look at this set over here. So, Gem of Armor with HP. There's some resist over here. Another HP gem with 22% resist, and then a defense gem. So, maximum survivability in terms of like just making sure that he can kind of survive the waves, and minimal increase in damage, which there's a couple of different ways you can build sappers. Obviously, you can build them more offensively. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they survive. But if they're dying, do consider changing up their gem build. But I personally try to get some offense on them unless it's inside Golem's B15, because the monsters and the Golem in there hits like a mother trucker. It literally hits like a butt cheek on a stick in there. So obviously survivability is #1 for the sappers. But in any other scenario, I feel like you can get away with an attack gem, but you don't have to build it like I do, because we all know that there's something definitely wrong with me. Enhancements though, there's HP resist and also crit resist. Trinkets may be a work in progress, but he does have trinkets up there, so that's better than nothing. There's also a variant Xiaowu Jing. And what does he have over here? Crit rate gem, an attack gem, another attack gem. I mean, he's not at max crit rate, but a leech set being useful is already a super duper big deal, so congrats on that. Enhancements wise though, there's HP, attack, crit rate, defense, crit damage, and attack, so a pretty good spread. I'm not sure how good Fire Shaoujing's damage is, even though his attack stat is good, just because his Courageous Strike is only on one skill, but I'm assuming that is at least useful if he went through the process of getting him on a leech set and Evo 3ing him. There's also Fire Wukong over here. He's on crit rate, attack, okay, 80% crit rate. I mean, it is what it is. Enhancements wise, attack, crit damage, defense, crit rate, defense, and also HP. Okay. Fire Shinobi, this one's super ascended. He has a lovely, the Fiery Resolve, where he gets a boost in attack power, which can definitely be helpful, especially if that Courageous Strike is the one getting some damage in there. But he's on a rune set with crit rate, attack, and also some more attack with a nice, good crit damage sub right there. Absolutely splendid. Enhancements wise though, there's crit damage, crit rate, there's some defense, HP, and also some attack. So I see what you're working with, man. I see what you're working with. That is pretty good. Fire Draka, this one's on a Siphon set. This is the one I believe that was at least at some point in time doing more damage than the other ones. Well, not the other ones, but the other one. Let's see what he's working with though. There's an attack gem, crit rate gem, and then a crit damage gem. 91% crit rate. Okay. Yep. I mean, I could sit right here and say, okay, this isn't super duper optimal because he doesn't have maximum crit rate, but if your crit rate's like 85 and above, then at that point, I'll let you get away with it, man. I'll let you get away with it. There's a Fire Banshee. We're not going to talk about her. There's the second Fire Wukong. The first one was on a Ruin set, if I recall, and this one is on a Leech set. So there's a crit rate gem, an attack gem, and then a crit damage gem up on that bad boy. So that nearly 80% crit rate. Close. He's almost there. Enhancements wise, he does get some crit rate from there as well as some crit damage and some attack to kind of balance his stats out. But I'll let it slide. My only fear though is even if the crit damage is great with his base attack being low, I'm not entirely positive how well that would perform, but he does have the death blow lead as well, which does help raise his critical hit damage, so maybe he's relying on that more than anything else. Alright, there's Fire Valk. What is that, a Gem of Magi set? A little bit of resist on her. She may be a work in progress, or she was used at some point in time, but no longer. Defense, HP, nice defense sub up there, and then an attack gem. Resist, maybe just to complete the set, but doesn't look like she's being used at this point in time. I do think Fire Valk is a decent Astromon for sure. Maybe she's not top tier, but she is definitely useful if you can pick her up. Moving on though, we have Fire Mr. C. He's on that lovely, what is that? I forgot the name of the set, dude. Longevity? Is it Longevity? No, I might be wrong here. Nope, it's Salvation. You guys didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear it at all. But anyways, there's Recovery, 16% resist up there. Another Recovery gem with a little bit of HP and 14% resist. And then a Defense gem with 21% crit rate. This might have just been just to get the setup there, because I don't see any more of the gems up there, which is fine because you're boosting up his HP and also his Recovery, which his Recovery stat, even though he's a defender, he does apply attack up to the squad, so he is healing the squad. So it's kind of important that he does hopefully some work in terms of making sure that it's very potent, or as potent as it can be, because summons nature's energy from the earth and heals all allies. The higher your recovery stat for a healing type move, the more HP your squad is going to recover. You don't want a defender or a tank type that heals to have garbage heals once they finally get their move off, because then it's just like, why do I even have you? I would just bring an actual healer in because you're trash. Enhancements wise though, he has Recovery, HP, Defense, pretty standard right there, nothing wrong with that. And also he does have a lovely variant, Mr. C, which is pretty nice. There's also Fire Pixie. She has a Recovery gem up on her, HP, and HP. Okay. Once again, her recovery is kind of a bit low, so if you can kind of augment that or kind of boost it up in some form or shape, that is always lovely. And enhancements wise, there's some defense, HP, some more defense, and some recovery. Okay. This dude has an Evo 3 Fire Pip. Anyways, moving on here. Let's take a look at Fire Cure. Which one? Which one? Both of them have pretty much similar recovery, so we're going to go with this one right here. She does have books into her shield. This is Gem of Longevity. See? I was right. I was just on the wrong Astromon. But anyways, this one has 20% resist up there. Doesn't really matter though. Another HP gem. A little bit of recovery up on that one. And then a recovery gem. So HP recovery. Once again, just like I said with Mr. C, you just want to make sure that your heals are potent once they finally get off. So do keep that in mind. Even though she's a recovery type, I do feel like at least her SP gain is a little bit garbage, but maybe it's just me. Fire Wild Fang, looks like she may have been forgotten or just isn't used, even though she's super evoed, because she has an HP gem on her. There's an attack gem, and then there's also another attack gem, and her resist is getting up there, but it doesn't like she's being currently used because she's not enhanced. She's not booked up. Maybe it was just for the Astro gems. Fire Yuki, she's on a protection set, fully booked up and super evoed. HP gem with 24% resist, an attack gem with 23% resist, and then a defense gem with 20% attack. So nice spread, trying to build her bruiser to get some damage out of her because her attack stat is pretty good, even though she's basically a debuffer. So he's trying to big brain it. Moving on though to Fire Nike. She is on the Gem of Healer set, defense gem with 20% resist, and then an HP gem. So it looks like the main selling point here is obviously to make her heal and keep her tanky as possible. Enhancements, there's some resist, defense, HP, crit resist, HP, and also some defense. Trinkets are on her, they just aren't really invested in at this point in time. Looks like she's also in the process of being booked up. Obviously, if you could add some more resist to this is always a good and spectacular thing, but I'm not sure what your in-game goal is for your Fire Victoria. I'm not sure what it is. Here's your other Fire Draco who's on a Siphon set, rocking a crit rate gem, an attack gem, and then an attack gem as well. And sitting at, what, 86% crit rate? I was curious why the damage seemed a little bit lower on this one. It didn't seem that much lower though, I will say that. Enhancements wise though, there's defense, crit damage, attack, HP, and also crit rate. One book up into puncture, which is nice, and then there's also the combat prowess for the ascension skill, which I'm not sure how handy that is unless you actually use this Draco in PvP. There's some more Fire Shinobis over here though. Leech set, another Leech set. This one's at what, freaking 78% crit rate and 10k attack, and also has what, unwavering resolve, grants a 40% chance when getting attacked to restore 20% of own HP. It's pretty nice. Attack gem with 21% crit rate, crit damage gem, and then also another attack gem. So attack, crit damage. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Crit rate, attack, crit damage, HP, defense, and also attack. Your other Shinobi over here is crit rate, attack, attack. Once again, pretty fine though in terms of just a leech set in general. This one's on a broken set, but attack gem, a crit rate gem, and then another attack gem with 21% crit rate on that gem right there. Okay. Enhancements pretty much the same as all the other Shinobis. Fire Poseidon also on a leech set. This dude just has all kinds of leech sets, dude. All kinds. Which reminds me that I need to do dragons myself here. But there's an attack gem on this bad boy, a crit rate gem with 21.5% attack, and then a crit damage gem with 20% defense, a little bit of resist right here, and 13.5% crit rate. So he's over the maximum crit rate threshold, so at this point in time it's nothing but damage, and there is one skill book on him, and I'm sure that there's more on the way. Enhancements wise though, pretty similar to Shinobi. I think he, instead of having defense though, he does have HPs, but obviously it's kind of neat how these things line up too. Looks very, very aesthetic, I would say. Another Fire Wukong, once again a leech set. This one's sitting at freaking 90% crit rate. So there's a crit rate gem, an attack gem with 26% resist up there, and then a crit damage gem. So dude is rocking it out, dude. I'm at this point pretty sure he's trying to take advantage of the death blow lead. And then there's also Incubus on a leech set. He has some books going on here, and with his recent change, I mean, I'm a slightly less I feel slightly less disdainment for Fire Incubus. He's still just not my favorite Astromon, but with his recent change with Exposed Weakness, he is better than what he was before. But he has a crit rate gem on him. There's also an attack gem and then an HP gem for some survivability as well as damage. There's another Mr. C, but we've been over him already. And then there's also another Fire Wukong on a Valor set who's almost Evo 3, which has an attack gem with 21% crit rate. There's an attack gem with 13.5% crit rate and 17% resist, and then a crit rate gem. So crit rate, attack, attack. Okay. Okay. Moving on next though, let's take a look at these Watermons over here. There's Watermona. She's on a broken set, but she's fully booked up. Attack gem. Another attack gem. Triple attack. I'm down with that. And what is that? 66% crit rate. Not necessary, but obviously if she crits, it's going to do a lot more damage. Enhancements wise though, there's attack, defense, crit rate, also some more attack and HP. Okay. There's also a Water Vic over here. She's on a Gem of Life set for some HP. Attack gem, HP gem. Okay. Water Yuki. I'm not a fan of Water Yuki, so I'm just going to skip her. Don't be hating on me. She's a sapper. I mean, not as interesting as Fire Loki. I don't think I've seen a Super Evo'd Fire Loki through the account reviews yet, and if I did, I'm sorry I don't remember. I've done like 1 million of these, but I was super duper excited to see that. But we do have a Water Wildfang. She is on a Pugilist set, which once I first saw her on this account, I did not assume that, but she has an HP gem on her, another HP gem, and then a defense gem. Obviously, more resist is always lovely to have, but considering she's at least on a full Pugilist set with some resist, that's a big step in the right direction. Enhancements wise, there's HP, defense, resist, and also some more defense. And no skill books on her at the moment, but I'm sure maybe in the future that he'll take care of that. Water Miho, she's Super Evo'd, hopefully just for Astro Gems, but we'll skip that. Water Hana over here, she is Super Evo'd, fully enhanced as well, fully booked up. She has a defense gem with 20% recovery, an HP gem with a whole bunch of crit rate for no reason, and then a recovery gem with 21% resist and 13.5% defense. And for her subs, or her enhancement subs, she has HP, defense, and also recovery. I can just assume that he was using her in Golem's B15 because that's where I use my Water Hana at. So she is useful at least in that instance, but she is built quite well. Next up though is Water Bow. She is on a Ruin set here. She is Super Ascended with the lovely immunity skill, which is okay. It's okay. Enhancements wise though, there's crit damage, there's defense, HP, attack, and some crit rate as well. And she has attack, crit rate. Solid. I mean, nearly max crit rate on her as well. It's pretty solid. Water Harley, he has 2 of them. One's on an Intuition set, and then one is on a Ruin set. But it looks like this one may be the better one out of the bunch. She's almost fully booked up. Enhancements wise, there's crit rate, crit damage, attack, HP, and then some defense. Once again, trying to kind of round out her stats. But she has an attack gem on her, crit rate gem, and then also another attack gem. Pretty standard, but standard's always good, dude. Like, you can't go wrong with what's acceptable. Moving forward though, I kind of skipped down the list just a little bit, just kind of speed things up here, but we have Water Cure, which, in case you guys don't know, Water Cure with the recent update, which was earlier this year, went from like to like probably one of the best water Astromon in terms of healers, even though she's technically a tank type, but we use her for, you know, her debuffing and also her healing. But anyway, she's on a vitality set over here. Nothing amazing, just an HP gem. There's a defense gem with some resistance and some recovery. And then also not another recovery gem, but a recovery gem just to boost up her healage. As I stated before with Mr. C, it's important, especially for mons that aren't recovery types, to make sure that their heals are potent, because if not, once they finally heal, it's just going to be trash and people are just going to die. So make sure you keep that in mind if your mon can actually heal with their 5-star skill and they're not a recovery type. Another cure right here. Another Balrona. Let's see what she's working with on this Gem of Zeal set. So attack gem with 12% crit rate. There's another attack gem with 21% crit damage. And then there's a crit rate gem. Okay, so crit rate, attack. Obviously he gets a boost with her crit rate and also her attack from the Gem of Zeal set bonus. And then there's some triggers on her, but he actually invested into these. I am surprised. She's also super ascendant with her shield, which has a 20% chance to proc, and it shields the user with their own max attack power, which, if it does proc, is very, very beneficial. But if it doesn't, well, it's just not even there. But enhancements wise though, there's attack, defense, crit rate, HP, crit damage, and some more attack. Moving on next though, we have Water Siegfried. He's on a Valor set, fully enhanced with defense, attack, crit damage, crit rate, attack, and HP. And I think from this point on, any of the offensive mons, I'm just not going to check out their enhancements, because as you guys can see, there's kind of a recurring theme here. So it's safe to assume that in most cases, if this mon's here to deal some damage, he's going to have a pretty similar enhancement set to this, because I haven't seen any real deviation to that. But anyways, there's an attack gem, another attack gem, and then another attack gem. So he's going full on damage on this bad boy. I'm not sure how well his survivability is, or if he's currently in this Titan lineup. I'm assuming so, but I'm curious to see how well he would perform on this triple attack set. Then there's Water Indra over here. His trinkets are leveled up as well. He's on a broken set, but he's rocking maximum crit rate, which is going to be an attack gem, another attack gem, and then a crit rate gem. So crit rate, attack with a 20.5% sub on that crit rate gem. That's absolutely beautiful, dude. Beautiful. And then this other one, he's on a Gem of Zeal set. Not Zeal. I'm getting my colors mixed up. It's intuition. I don't know why, but my brain is just like, it's this set, because I want everything to be Zeal, or I want everything to be freaking longevity for no reason. But there's an attack gem over here. HP gem with 28% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. Because I mean, he's nearly at the maximum for the crit rate, so I guess you could argue it's okay to have the HP gem, at least for here. I'm not sure what his Titan composition is though, but you know, I can only speculate at this point in time. Water Hades, this one's on a broken set. They're both on broken sets, but this one's slightly better IMO. Let's take a look at the gems though. There's an attack gem, a crit rate gem, and then also another attack gem with 20% crit rate on that. Maximum crit rate, 99%. That's 100 to me. Okay. Another Wet Harley, she's on a broken set though, and she's on attack with 17.5% crit rate, and then also attack once again with 20% defensive sub up there. He does have his Water Artemis, which was on Gem of Healer, which is what I was assuming. She does have trinkets on her, but they don't seem to be invested in at this point in time. But HP gem with 20% attack and 16% resist. A defense gem with 12.5% crit rate. And then another HP gem with some defensive there as well. So he's going on full survivability, not really worrying about damage. Which once again, if it works, it works. Water Purse, she's on a Gem of Life set over here. HP with 20% resist, and then HP. Trying to catch him slipping, dude. I was trying to catch him slipping. Because in case you guys don't know, it is viable as well if you want to run Purse on like HP defense. I do know that Adrenaline does scale off of her HP, which is her 3-star skill. But having that extra defense there does help kind of cushion her and gives her a really nice balance in terms of survivability. So do keep that in mind. Moving on though, we have Water Bast over here. She's sitting at 68% resist. Defense gem with some recovery. Recovery gem with some resist up there. And also another recovery gem with some resist. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Enhancements, there's HP, defense, and then recovery. Okay. Okay. Looks like he has 2 Acers as well. One's almost Evo 3. Let's take a look at her though. Attack gem with 26.5% crit rate. Crit damage gem with 12.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 28% defense up there. And he's sitting at 84% crit rate. Okay. I mean, it's not 85, but come on. It's 1% lower. Big deal right there. She does have her trinkets invested in, at least to some degree as well. Okay. Another Bass. This one's on a Vitality set. Recovery. Recovery. HP. Okay. And then this other Acer, she is on a Gem of Healer set. She's rocking 64% resist though. Crit rate. Attack with 24% resist. Nice roll into that. And then another attack gem with 13% crit rate and then 14% resist. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, dude. I'm picking it up. Moving on next, so let's take a look at his wood mines over here. So we have a John who's on a Gem of Life set. Fully booked up, super ascended. Attack gem of 17% resist and 19.5% crit rate. Crit damage gem of 14.5% crit rate and 15% resist. And then another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. So nice rolls into these. I'm just curious about the whole life setup. I'm not sure where she's used that, but I don't think I've seen that before. She looks good. There's also Wood Miho. I'm just going to skip her because it's Wood Miho. Maybe she's decked out, but she's on a broken set. But I don't see any like super duper high resist or anything crazy, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving here. There's also Wood Anew. He's on a Valor set. HP gem, attack gem, and then a crit rate gem. So kind of a bruiser-ish build, trying to make sure that Hunter actually goes off, but I'm not sure how much he's used, even though he is super evoed, and he does have some books on him as well. Wood Yuki, super ascendant as well. She's on a broken set, no real resist right here. Maybe she was just a work in progress, or it looks like maybe her gems were kind of taken off of her and put on to some other Astromon. Hana's though, I'll just take a look at the one I deem the prettiest, which is going to be this one, and then we'll go ahead and move on from there so things don't get too redundant. But she's fully booked up. Obviously she's also variant, which is always nice. And then for her Gem of Vitality set, she has an HP gem with a little bit of recovery. Super duper high crit damage up there. Who knows why? I'm sure no one in the world knows why other than Tina. And then there's a defense gem with a little bit of resist. And then there is a recovery gem with 25% resist. So nice rolls into that. Enhancements wise though, there's recovery, HP, and defense. So if you don't understand by now that your healer should be on something like this, hopefully you do now. But she's super evolved. So is this Hana, and so is this Hana as well. She's booked up as well as this Hana, which is always good to know, making sure things are kind of committed all across the board here. Wood Amayoji, she's Evo 3 with one book into her. She's sitting at 60% resist and 100% crit rate, 99% crit rate, same thing on a broken set. She has an attack gem though with 19.5% crit rate up there and 9% resist. There's a crit rate gem with 18% resist and some attack and defense. And then there's another attack gem with 6.5% crit rate, which that's pretty good, dude. Like, there's nothing super duper amazing about his rolls into crit rate. I mean, he does have a crit rate gem, but his rolls into the crit rate isn't that super high for either of these gems, and he's at the maximum, so that's always nice. Enhancements, I know I said I was going to check those, but with that crit rate enhancement, that really kind of just made sure she got to the point of where she needed to be. So you guys, when you're doing your builds for your gem sets and notice that things are slightly off, one small tweak to your Ashramon builds could literally make it go from not super duper optimal to like amazing. So do keep that in mind. There's a Wood Pinolo fully booked up. He's on a broken set. He has an attack gem with 14% crit rate. Another attack gem with 14.5% crit rate. And then another attack gem. So he's going balls to the wall here. Fully decked out in the attack arena and 60% crit rate. He may not be used at this point in time though. So I'm curious to see how well he was performing before his break. Moving on next though is a Wood Banshee. She's on a Bastion set, but maybe she's not being used at this point in time. Because let me see right here. Attack, HP, attack. Yeah, maybe she's not being used at this point in time. Wood Mushi, he's on a broken set, nearly max crit rate, which should be pretty obtainable for this guy. Fully booked up as well. Crit rate gem. My nose keeps itching. There's an attack gem. And then another attack gem. Pretty standard build right there. Obviously, he can use them in the Nat 3 League for nuking if he wants to do so. There's also a Wood Starav over here sitting at freaking Evo 3 level 60. Fully booked up on a Ruin set. So he has an attack gem on him. Another attack gem. And then a crit rate gem. So not so amazing subs, but he is pulling off a Ruin set with 71% crit rate, and looks like he may be a work in progress. Once again, he's probably testing out to see how well he's going to do. Maybe he's being used in the Elemental Tower of Chaos. Who knows? And then there is Wood Zubaji over here on a protection set. She has an attack gem on her, another attack gem, and then a crit rate gem, which kind of curious because at least the way her stats are, in my opinion, you could definitely make her like offensive, which is what he did, but I guess he's trying to make sure that she's more balanced in her practicality and not just offensive. At least that's what I'm trying to pull the strings together and create right here for this scenario. But I mean, she's fine. I mean, she is single target though, which does kind of hurt her performance, but if you have nothing else, it's literally better than like nothing. So do keep that in mind. But I think eventually she may be replaced, obviously because Wood Merlin's top tier, but she works until you can get something else. There's another Pinello. This one's on a broken set as well, but he's on attack with 24% resist, crit damage, crit rate. Pretty much the lovely special of Avvas over here. Wood Shelly. I'm not sure why this Wood Shelly's on a Siphon set. What? What? What does that even mean? I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out how this would be useful or where is it being used at, but maybe he planted this here and just like, I want to make sure that you're bamboozled. But moving on anyways though, there's some Phibians over here. I will take this one over here because it looks the prettiest. But anyways, let's take a look at the gems of longevity. There's the Fence gem on him, an HP gem, and then also an attack gem with 32% resist on that bad boy. That is a nice chunk of resist. So kind of more bruiser instead of survivability, which honestly he doesn't really have too much attack to kind of like make worthwhile. But he's probably holding on to that just because of that nice roll into resist on that gem. And then Minicat over here, Wood Minicat to be exact, on a Vitality set with HP with 14% recovery. Recovery gem with 16% resist, and then a defense gem with 14.5% recovery. Okay, fully booked up. Nice to know. Nice to know. There's also this lovely freaking Wood Monkey on a looks like work in progress Bastion set. Maybe this was used in Elemental Tower of Chaos. That's the only thing I could think of at this point in time. Because why else would this dude be Evo 3, level 60, fully booked up on a Bastion set at one point in time? There's also a Wood Bell Pup here, which I'm curious to see where wood build up's being used, but fully booked up. There's some enhancements action going on here. There's a broken set on it with a defense gem with 14.5% recovery. There's an HP gem with 15% resist, and then there's a recovery gem with 20.5% defense. So pretty standard for recovery, but it's fully booked up. So I'm curious to see though, because I mean, exposed weakness and defense up could be useful, but yeah, very curious to see where that's being used at. Then we have Wood Bass with a couple books in her. She's on a vitality set, rocking a defense gem with 21.5% recovery, an HP gem, and then a recovery gem with 16% resist. Okay. Moving on though, we have Wood Garuda on a Valor set, fully enhanced as well. He's sitting at 82% crit rate, and my nose won't stop itching, dude. Like, what the fudge, dude? He has an attack gem though, with 23% HP on that dude. Wow. Crit rate gem, and then an attack gem. I guaranteed if this had a triangle slot, it would be crit damage. I 100% guarantee it. Like, there's no doubt in my mind at this point in time. Then moving on though, we have Wood Merlin number 1 right here, and there are 3 other Merlins. These are 4? Nope, only 3. But there's 3 other Merlins after this, but this one's super ascendant, no books onto him. But he's sitting at 60% resist and 67% crit rate. And what does he have? The Unwavering Resolve, where there's a 40% chance to restore 20% of his own HP for some more survivability. If it procs. But he has an attack gem up there with 14% resist and 22.5% crit rate. There's another attack gem with 20.5% crit rate. And then there's a crit damage gem with a little bit of crit rate, but you know, it is what it is. But he does have some attack and resist as well. So the crit rate is a little bit low, at least in my opinion, to be running crit damage. But I'm sure if he does crit, his damage is acceptable. But I mean, it could always be higher. It could always be higher. Moving on to this other Wood Merlin though, because he does have many. Let's see what he's working with this one. This one's at 88% crit rate though, and what is that? 47% resist. So attack gem with 29% crit rate, and then a crit damage gem. So attack, crit damage, but this one's closer to the maximum crit rate threshold versus the other one. So maybe this bad boy is the actual damage dealer. Wood Garuda. Oh yeah, what was his skill? Oh yeah, he has Fiery Resolve on that bad boy. Another Wood Garuda on a broken set right here. 88% crit rate and then nearly 60% resist. Attack gem. Crit rate. Attack gem. I'm surprised. I thought he would slide crit damage up in there. But these other 2 Merlins on a Valor set. This one's on a Ruin set. Let's take a look at the Valor one though. Because he's sitting at 84% resist, and then, not 84% resist, but 84% crit rate, and then 55% resist. So, crit rate gem, an attack gem, and then another attack gem right there. Some crit damage from that gem. The other attack gem has some crit rate up there, and then the crit rate gem has a little bit of crit damage, and there's also some defense and resist. This Merlin on a Ruin set though, he does have some books applied to him. I'm sure he's ready for Super Ascension at any time as long as he has the material to do so. But a crit rate gem, an attack gem with 13% resist, 10% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 12% crit rate. Okay. Wood and Kiddu. This bad boy is on an Intuition set with 1 book into damage reduction and not Courageous Strike. 100% Sag. But a crit rate gem, an attack gem, an attack gem. Nothing incredible on him. Nothing at all. But maybe he's a work in progress, or maybe he's just hanging out. Who knows? Wood Kana. We don't talk about Wood Kana. Why don't we talk about Wood Kana? Number 1, you have to feed so many Ashramon, like 48 Nat 4s, in order to get her to Evo 3. Then she comes in with a whopping 2.6k attack stat. And not only that, but her Courageous Strike skill is on her 5-star skill, which is crit reliant. So, I mean, you can build a crit rate attack, but it's like, I fed this many Ashramon into her to get her, and this is what I have to work with. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I'm just not a fan, man. Then coming in after that, though, we do have Wood Thor, which has Crazy Strike at least on his 3-star skill. I mean, if they swap that with her, maybe that would be a lot better for her. But at least it's on his 3-star skill, not her 5-star skill like Kana is. But anyways, moving on here, though, he's on a broken set. He's sitting at 72% crit rate, a little bit of resist, but maybe he's not being used at this point in time. There's 2 more Hanas, which total us out to, what, 5 Hanas? Which is plentiful. There's 2 Shaherazads, though. One's on a broken set, and one is on a complete set, so we'll do the complete set. She does have some trinkets on her as well, but they're not super duper invested in. But let's take a look at these gems. So a HP gem of 13% crit rate and a little bit of resist, even though her main selling point is obviously debuffing. There's a defense gem with 19% resist, a little bit of crit rate and crit damage. And then there is an HP gem as well, with a little bit of attack up there and crit damage as well as crit rate. What is that? 74% resist? Okay. Her HP is pretty plentiful too. I mean, it's almost at, what, 100k? I think it's at like 94, 95k. Okay. Okay. Alright, you guys, moving on next though, let's take a look at the light mons over here. We're coming in hot with this Light Yuki. She is on the Gem of Zeal set. She's rocking 13% crit rate on this attack gem. There's another attack gem of 16% resist and 13.5% crit rate. And then also an HP gem for some survivability, which, you know, if you can't do crit rate attack, which I don't really recommend for Yuki, to be honest, because if you want to use her offensively, if she gets hit just like Leo in certain scenarios, she's just going to die. So what's the point of having her lovely shock if she's dead? So I do recommend that. But she's sitting at, what is that, 86% crit rate, and there's 35% resist. So her resist could definitely be higher. Enhancements, though, pretty standard for what we have in terms of everything. Obviously, she has a little bit more resist because it is kind of hard to build her with that resist, especially with it being 0. But it is what it is here. But I think all in all, she's fine. And I mean, her 10k attack stat is pretty nice. Then once again, her main selling point is shock, so survivability should be number 1, obviously followed by damage. There's Light Leo on the Pugilist set. He's rocking 73% resist. That's pretty nice. But he has an attack gem up there with 15% resist. There's an HP gem with 25% resist. And then there's another attack gem. That's solid, dude. Absolutely solid. I mean, you could build him with crit rate to get some more damage out of him, but once again, as I said before, with Light Yuki, same scenario here. What's the point of him having his stun going off if it does go off if he's dead? There's no point at all. So, good job on him, and he's super evoed. Moving on after that, though, we have Light Bolt Wing. He's on a broken set with an attack gem that has 20% crit rate. Another attack gem of 19.5% crit rate, and then a crit damage gem. So attack, crit damage, what is that, 88% crit rate. It's over 85, good enough. Fully booked up as well and super evoed, okay. There's also a super evoed C-star, light C-star, I don't know why, but it's there. Let's take a look at her anyways, because she is fully booked up on a protection set with crit rate, attack, HP. I think he was probably using her at some point in time, but with the recent update, you know, she's no longer being used or checked, so it's like, why would I even bother changing anything on her when I don't use her? Because before, she was crit rate reliant, but obviously in this scenario, especially with that resist, she wouldn't really be usable as a defensive mon, and he just has way better Astromon in general, so I can't really say, oh, this is terrible, because I wouldn't use Light C-Star if sitting right next to me is freaking Light Succubus. He is on a Conviction set. She's rocking 70% resist. She does have some books up on her, and she's super evoed, but let's take a look at her gems. So, a HP gem with 9% resist. Another HP gem with 17% resist. And then a defense gem with 20% attack, which is weird, champ, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay. Moving forward, though, we have Light Jean. She's on a Bastion set, rocking, what is that, 81% crit rate. HP gem with 21% crit rate. Another HP gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then another HP gem with 20% crit rate. Okay. So he's kind of going bruiser, not bruiser-ish, but kind of more orientated towards getting as much damage out of her as possible, with hopefully not sustaining much damage. And while her HP is great, obviously with trinkets or enhancements, he can kind of offset her lack of defense by giving her defense through those means. So I would definitely focus on defense if you do decide to use her in the future, and kind of make sure there's a good balance in between them. Even though she's an HP aggressor, obviously with more defense she can take more damage, just in general, as an FYI. Then he also has a light Gilga over here with that combat prowess. I don't know why you get that ascension skill. That's literally all that you get. I don't know why. But he's on a Gem of Life set, fully enhanced, of course. There's an attack gem up there with 15% defense and 14% recovery. Another attack gem with 22% crit rate. And then a crit damage gem with, what is that, 19.5% crit rate and 13% attack. So what was that? Attack, crit damage, 85% crit rate. What is that? 10k attack stat? Yep. Okay. Light Hunter on a Siphon set. I mean, it makes sense to kind of get him to his puncture faster, because shock doesn't really help with any SP generation, but I figured it was never going to be done. But this man himself has done it. He has an attack gem up there, another attack gem, and then a crit rate gem, because he is sitting at, what is that, 87% crit rate. Probably uses them elements of Tower of Chaos, I'm assuming, or maybe he was having fun with him somewhere. So I'm really curious to see where he was being used at. Then over here is another light bolt wing, but this one's not super evoed. Okay, that one's fully booked up. This one's in the process of being fully booked up, but it's on a ruin set with attack gem with 17% resist. There's a crit rate gem. And then there's another attack gem. So attack crit rate, pretty standard, but once again, standard is always better than subpar. Just keep that in mind. Moving on though was Light Wendigo, which if you guys don't know, its SG literally has 25 million Light Wendigos, and I have 0. And hopefully with the Light and Dark selection cards from the anniversary, I will still have 0, because I'm not choosing Light Wendigo when there's obviously better Astromon. But if you don't have anything else, especially as Light Courageous Strikers, until you can kind of get yourself some Siegfrieds, which takes time, he's still a very, very good choice to have. But let's take a look at his gems though. Crit damage gem, attack gem, and then a crit rate gem. So what is that? 105% crit rate. His attack is only 7k though, so not that much damage out of him, to be honest. With the crit rate, well, with the crit damage compromise. Very interesting. Like Medusa, she is on a, what is that, Gem of Magi set, and her crit rate is sitting at, what is that, 88%, because I do believe she's crit rate reliant, yeah, on her stun and elemental edge. But let's see what she's working with here. So she has an attack gem with 14% crit rate and 9% resist. There's another attack gem with 19.5% defense up there, and then there's a crit rate gem. Okay. I mean, I think she's a fun Astromon to have. I haven't really used mine, but I've been in the process of kind of building her, kind of not, just have something to play around with. She's not like top tier or anything like that, but you know, you got to learn to have fun, you guys. There's also another Light Wendigo. This one is at max crit. Let's take a look at the gems. There's crit rate with 17% resist. There's an attack gem with 19.5% crit rate, and then a crit damage gem. So once again, crit rate, crit damage, and then also attack, and probably pretty similar damage to the other one over here. Second, Light Yuki, this one's not fully booked up, but in the process. She is at 100% crit rate, but she has an attack gem with 12% crit rate, a crit rate gem with 15% resist, and then an HP gem. So once again, going for some survivability with damage. But once again, resist is kind of low here. Kind of low. So maybe she's in the process of being raised because she's not enhanced. And I'm sure if he was using her, she would probably be enhanced. But, you know, definitely a work in progress, it seems. Moving past here, there is a Light Pinolo on a Pugilist set. Maybe he was being used in PvP, but with his subpar stats, I'm like, why would you do that? Wait, is Light Pinolo Nat 3? Or is it Nat 4? I can't remember. Maybe that's why he was being used, but he's single target, so it's just like... What? Fully booked up too. Maybe this was just for memes, dude. I don't know. I really don't know, but let's take a look. Attack gem. Crit rate gem. Another attack gem. Maybe it's just weird flex, but okay, but I was not expecting to see that. Another light Leo. This one's on a pugilist set, but this one's kind of opposite of his brother over here, because this one's kind of a little bit more focused with higher crit rate versus resist. So he's another work in progress, not super evoed and not fully booked up, but maybe he's just having fun with these pugilist sets at this point in time. There's also like Banshee. She's on an intuition set. No books on her, no super evolution either. So maybe she's a work in progress, or he's just like, you know what, forget her because I have 2 like Yukis. But there's an attack gem with 21% crit rate. There's an HP gem with 20% attack on that one, and then another attack gem. Okay. Definitely seems like she's a work in progress though, because obviously with her stat distribution, I would make her more defensively than offensively, because she doesn't really have the factor like Light Yuki does, because Light Yuki literally has like what, a 1k difference in her attack stat? Yeah. A 1k difference in her attack stat. Defense is kind of higher on Light Banshee, but her HP is just a lot higher than Light Yuki's base HP. You know, we're talking literally, what is that? 3.5k, you could say 3.8k, roughly about 6-7k difference of HP, which is pretty huge. Light Fennec on a broken set right there, fully booked up. It's also Light Tiger. He's sitting at max crit. I had the unfortunate luck of pulling him from the egg that they gave us for the start of the anniversary, so it is unfortunate, but he will be used for World Boss at some point in time. This one's fully booked up though. He's rocking an attack gem, crit rate gem, and then an HP gem. Curious to see where he was using him at though, because Sleep and Hunter, I mean, it works, but single target's kind of like, but why? Why would you do this? Why would you do any of this? Light Wildfang, she's on a Bastion set. It looks like she's kind of like a work in progress at this point in time, or maybe she would never be used, but nice to have her. Dude is rocking a freaking Light Monitor on a Zeal set. 15% resist with attack, HP with 35% defense, a little bit of resist, and then a crit rate gem. So crit rate, HP, attack. Very, very interesting. It's also very interesting that my nose will not stop itching. There is a Light Sandwraith, but honestly, regardless of his gem quality, I mean, he does have Blind and Courageous Strike right now, but it's just pitiful, dude. It's literally pitiful that Smart Study did this to this dude, because he has Courageous Strike, which is his AoE skill, and even though he's sitting at maximum crit rate, his attack is a whopping almost 5k. That's literally like Light Yuki with 1 attack gem. Like, it's just one of those things where regardless of how much you try to like shape him and make him into something, unfortunately due to his stat distribution, he's just going to be, yeah, he's just going to be that. Moving on though, we do have Light Candling over here on a broken set, almost a complete ruin set. There's Light Minicat as well on a broken set. Let's take a peek at him real quick because he's sitting at 70% resist. So defense gem with 15% resist and 13% recovery. HP gem with 14% recovery, and then a recovery gem with a whole bunch of attack, which is weird champing it, also with 17% resist. Okay. Light Gatito on his Zeal set. Not a Zeal set, Intuition set. I promise you guys, I'm not colorblind. My mind is just like, bro, we've been looking at a lot of gems. We're kind of getting them confused at this point in time. But there's an HP gem up on him. Another HP gem with 13.5% crit rate. And then another HP gem with 15% crit rate. And the first one had 13%. So he's sitting at, what is that, 81% crit rate? I mean, he's HP aggressor, which is why he has all the HP on him. But it's like, why would you build him? Is this once again for Elemental Tower of Chaos? Because that's the only place I could think of using a single target wannabe pseudo sapper over here. Light Mona, she's on a broken set with some crit rate on her, but no resist, so maybe she's being built for fun. Light Siren, once again on a broken set. Not super duper high resist, but she's sitting at 57, which is better than some people's resist on our Astramon. Not calling anyone out, but she is fully booked up, and I mean she's decent until you get something better. Some Baby Shark do's. There's also Light Marie, which if you have Light Nike, why use her instead of just having her for the Astro Guide? Which of these Baby Sharks is the best though? We're gonna go with this Baby Shark. This Baby Shark will define the rest of the Baby Sharks to make life easy for me. He has a defense gem with 7% resist, a HP gem of 12.5% recovery and 20% resist, and then another defense gem of 6.5% recovery. Fully booked up, and his resist is 77%. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm assuming all the other ones kind of are in a similar boat. I did see one with more recovery on it though, so maybe they're using different areas or just different Titans in general, but it's kind of hard to know which one it is because when you have multiple copies of the Astramon, they don't really do a good job, smart study that is, of at least allowing us to put numbers on an Astramon just to kind of know which one they are for whichever team that we have. Light Nike, she is almost on a complete set, but I was like, there's no bonus over here, so one of these gems are not like the other. But she has a defense gem, and a defense gem. So triple defense, but nothing obviously really remarkable about it. Maybe she's just chilling over here for World Boss or something. Light Verde, there's two Light Mr. C's. Let's take a crack at these guys. Both are on broken sets. I'm going to go with this one right here because that one has a decent amount more HP. But attack gem with 24% crit rate. Crit damage gem with 22% crit rate. And then another attack gem with 22% crit rate. So he's sitting at 88% crit rate. Nearly, what, 10k attack? Okay. One book into him. I'm down. This one over here is sitting at, what is that, 83% crit rate, and pretty similar to the other one, just this one has a lot more HP, probably due to trinkets, which, called it boys, I called it. Light Siegfried with immunity over here though, but he's sitting at 51% resist and then 82% crit rate. There's an attack gem with 23% resist, another attack gem with 18% crit damage, and then a crit rate gem with 12.5% attack, 12.5% defense, and a little bit of resist. So where's that excessive resist coming from? Because this 23%, it's probably coming from enhancements or trinkets, I'm assuming. Because I'm like, dude. Okay, yeah. I'm like, dude, there's no way it's that high, but good distribution of stats overall. Not perfect, but really on the way there, and he does have some books onto him as well. Alright, moving on next, so is Light Enkidu. He is on a protection set over here, rocking 80% crit rate, and what is that, 5.5k plus 3.5k, like, what is that, 9k attack, crit rate, attack, okay. And that attack gem has, what, 12.5% crit rate, as well as some resist up there, and some crit damage. Okay. He does have some books on him as well with Weaken and also Courageous Strike, and he does have two Light Enkidus, so very, very interesting over here. There's a Fire Draka, not a Fire Draka, a Light Draka on an Intuition set, but I mean, they're almost the same thing. It's just the 3-star skill is different, but the Siphon set does help kind of offset the Weaken, because while it's not morale boost, it does apply morale boost depending on Light Draka's damage to kind of act like Fire Draka with a little bit easier to build crit rate. But let's take a look at her crit rate gem. There's an attack gem with 21% crit rate, and then a crit damage gem. So crit rate, attack, crit damage. What is that? 8k attack and 100% crit rate, and crit damage is over 100%. Okay. Light Griffin though on a Bastion set with 31% resist. There's an HP gem with 18% resist. A defense gem with with 19.5% crit rate, and then a defense gem once again with a little bit of resist. So kind of trying to prevent death to Light Griffin by adding in the Bastion set for him to soak up a little bit of damage. Hopefully until morale boost activates and obviously gets resistance down to go off, and then once with the crowd control squad coming in there, at that point it doesn't really matter because hopefully there will be crowd control, which is a similar tactic that I use with my Light Griffin. Moving on next though is Light Sanzang with 1 book into her. She's on a broken set at this point in time. HP, defense, HP. So that does have 20% resist up there, which is pretty nice, but looks like she's a work in progress. Light Nightmare, she's on a Gem of Magi set with literally no resist at all. 15%, but probably once again a work in progress, which I understand because you're in a scenario where there's a lot of mons that you could work on, but it's kind of hard because you can't really focus on one mon at a time, because if you do, well, all the others are going to just suffer, but I definitely understand that. But this HP gem does have 15% resist up there, which is a pretty nice sub. And then a defense gem with nothing really extravagant on that bad boy. But hopefully one day she can get built up to kind of synergize with your other light mons. Another light meowing, or light minicat shall I say. There's light pixie over here on a vitality set with HP. And this has 6% resist and 21% recovery. There's a recovery gem with 21% defense, and then a defense gem with nothing extravagant on that. But the other 2 gems had nice rolls. 1 book in her at the moment. He has a Light Barona on a Gem of Healer set with a crit rate gem with 13% resist and 11% crit damage. There's an HP gem. Nothing extravagant on that one, and then an attack gem with 21% resist. I mean, she is Eva too, so I can kind of understand trying to give her some survivability, because she's in kind of like an awkward area where she can not only do crowd control, but she also is there to try and do damage. But making sure that she survives can ensure that both things can happen at the same time, so totally understand that. There is a Light Imperato. He looks like he's a work in progress. Light Silver, but he's only Evo 2. And the rest of these mons are level 50 and below, but I'll go through them really quickly and see if there's anything amazing here. Wow, your Light Odin is only level 50. There's Light Sura, Light Venus, another Light Gatito, Light Mandragora, Light Zephyros, Light Kira, Light Beetle, Light Loki, and Light Todora, and also Light Dark Ganon. Alright, moving forward, the emulator crashed, but don't worry, we're back. We have Dark Wildfang here. She's fully booked up. She's on a Zeal set, and she's rocking an attack gem, another attack gem, with a little bit of resist, a little bit of crit damage, and then another attack gem. So triple attack, okay. And then the Gem of Zeal set bonus is obviously the crit rate addition right there. And she's sitting at what, 41% crit rate. Stalker gives her 50%. So there's a 10% gap, but depending on whatever lead that she has, that should be perfectly fine. And I'm super duper excited because she's probably going to be what I'll end up picking for the Light and Dark Nat 4 card, just because I don't have any Light or Dark Wild Fangs, but she's built fine. Super evoed as well, and that's what I like to see, guys. That's what I like to see. We have Dark Mona over here on a broken set, super evoed, fully booked up. Attack gem of 13% crit rate and 14% resist. Crit rate gem is 16% resist, and then an attack gem with 12% crit rate. What is that, 97% crit rate? I mean, especially for something used purely probably as PvE. Maybe clan versus clan if he's feeling froggy. Perfectly fine. Dark Yuki, she's on a conviction set with an HP gem with 21% crit rate. Defense gem with nothing really super duper amazing. And then another HP gem. So the set in itself is not that great. So I'm wondering if she's being used or if she's a work in progress, because he can get a lot more resist on her, as well as maybe build into her attack a little bit more if he wanted to. But it's really dependent on how he chooses to build her for whatever use that he has, because maybe he has multiple Dark Yukis. Well, you have to wait and find out. But there's Dark Sea Star over here. She's rocking, what, 70% crit rate and 35% resist. Super evoed once again and full of skill books, but there's a defense gem of 18% resist and 6.5% crit rate. A defense gem of 8% resist once again and 13.5% crit rate. These, okay, I was getting confused right there. I was like, did I say the same thing twice? And then another defense gem with 10% crit damage and then 13% crit rate. So 70% crit rate, triple defense. I'm down with that. I personally love to have my aggressors on triple of whatever that they're an aggressor in versus the crit rate whatever that they're aggressor in, just because I think it's the hardest to build, but it also feels the most rewarding when you can pull something off of that. But if she is being used though, obviously higher resist would always be a welcomed addition. There's also Dark Cupid with literally like no resist at all, but HP gem with some crit rate up there, and then another HP gem. So he could be a work in progress, but he is super evoed, so maybe it's just for world boss. Dark Miho, she's on a broken set with HP, which has 20% crit rate and 16% resist. Another HP gem with 8% resist and 14.5% crit rate, and then another HP gem of 18% crit rate. Fully bugged up and super evoed once again, maybe world boss. Dark Candling, fully enhanced, fully booked up on a broken set. Attack gem, another attack gem with 14% crit rate, and then another attack gem with 20% resist and 15% crit rate, which, in case you guys don't know, Curse does scale off your attack, so the more attack that you have, the better off Curse is going to be if it actually sticks, which is what he's doing here. So maybe he's running like a Dark Curse composition or just a Curse composition somewhere. If not, it could definitely be for world boss. There's Dark Leo. My mind had to think for a second on a Bastion set. With his recent change, he is a little bit better, but once again, he's just not like Leo. But attack gem with 25% resist. There's a crit rate gem and then another attack gem. So pretty standard here. Probably not being used up because he's not super evoed or even booked. Dark Beetle, he's just here hanging out. Dark Sandwraith on a broken set, he's rocking, what is that, 78% crit rate, literally no resist, so he could be using him offensively and not defensively, which obviously makes sense right there because of the whole Persevere and SP Siphon, but definitely a great mon to have, especially if you have no SP Siphoners at all. Dark Tina, she's on a Siphon set, but obviously with the two Drakas, you know, it's up to you of what you want to use. I do use a combination of all three though, or all two in PvE, where I run Tina and my two Fire Drakas for farming. But she has a defense gem up here with 13.5% attack and 14% crit rate, an attack gem, and then a crit rate gem. So crit rate, attack, defense, which is kind of curious to see where she's being used at for her to warrant that extra defense. Dark Gatito, he is on an intuition set with, what is that, 95% crit rate. Attack could be higher. It could be higher, but at least we can make sure that Hunter does work. Dark Mandy over here is on a broken set as well. Nothing too extravagant. Not max crit rate, but she does hit like an F word, dude. She hits like a butt cheek on a stick because her Hunter's 50%. But her books, dude, like they need to buff her books up because she could hit even harder if they would buff her books up. But her damage is pretty solid in my opinion. Dark Marie, which is like great value. Dark Mona. Obviously if you have Dark Mona, you can just bypass her. Dark Mowgli once again over here on a broken set, but she's rocking what? 90% crit rate? What is that attack? 7, nearly 8k. Let's take a look at her gems. Attack gem, 13% crit rate. Another attack gem with 12% crit rate, and then a crit rate gem. Okay. Dark Thor, he's over here rocking a ruin set with some books onto him. There's a crit rate gem, HP gem, and then an attack gem. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Dark Thor back in the day used to be like one of my favorite Astramon. And, you know, as the game progressed, though, he slowly became less and less greatness because not only is he crit rate reliant, which kind of hurts his build in a way, but his skills aren't super duper amazing. I mean, if you can get one and you don't have any, like, dark crazy strikers or, like, dark, like, good defense down mons, he's usable. But obviously once you get like mid in game, you begin to realize that Dark Thor, while he's super duper cool, is no longer super duper practical. So rest in peace, Dark Thor. There's a Dark Misha over here on a HP set, or Gem of Life set, rocking an attack gem with 20% resist, another attack gem with 13% resist and 5.5% crit rate, and then an attack gem once again with 19% resist. Maybe this was just a project that he's working on. Dark Pip is over here on a Siphon set, which is a nice combination with that Battle Rush to get that SP going off with Sap, which I'm totally down with. Hopefully you guys picked up some Dark Pips as well. But an HP gem with 18.5% crit rate, another HP gem with 20% crit rate, and then a defense gem with 23% resist. So built very, very defensively, but as long as Sap's getting off at this point, who cares? What is up with this dude and these freaking light and dark Panolos? I don't understand. Dude literally has Unflinching Strike with the world's most anemic attack stat. Like, your damage is going to be straight up trash. It doesn't matter if he's dark type or not, dude. 2.1k attack stat, and I mean his Unflinching Strike isn't even on his 5-star skill. Let's take a look at these gems. There's an attack gem, crit rate gem, and an HP gem. Oh yeah, I guarantee his attack is just trash. Dark Rebittal just hanging out here, fully booked up though. Dark Flora on a Conviction set. She's rocking, what is that, 53% crit rate. HP gem, Defense gem with 21.5% crit rate and 14% resist. And then another HP gem with 14.5% crit rate and 6% resist. So once again, built very, very defensively. Light Suck, she's on a Conviction set, not fully booked up and not super evoed, but her resist is looking good at least. Defense gem, another defense gem with 22% resist, and then an HP gem with 18% resist. Okay. Okay. Dark Mino, Mono, whatever the heck you want to call him. I think it's technically Mino, but why? Why? Is this for the Nat 3 League? Is this just for memeing? Like, what's going on here, dude? Intuition set, though, with an attack gem. Another attack gem. Then a crit rate gem. So pretty standard. I just don't understand why. Dark Ganon on a Zeal set. This is obviously the counterpart to like Gatito. So defense gem with 14% resist. Defense gem. And then another defense gem with 25.5% crit rate. So obviously he's not worried about attack here. He's just trying to get that crit rate boost, which at this point in time, it's like you could use this set, but if you were trying to go for actual like maximum crit rate on him, if he did use him, obviously Intuition would make more sense, because if there's no benefit from his additional attack, this set could go to someone else. Dark Siren, she's on a broken set, but she's rocking 80% resist. Recovery with 31% resist. Defense gem with 6% resist and 21% recovery. And then an HP gem with 13% resist and 12.5% recovery. Okay. Next up, though, is going to be Dark Siegfried. He's on a Ruin set, fully enhanced. Obviously, his books went into Light Siegfried, and I'm sure in the future he may end up supersetting this Dark Siegfried. But defense gem with 18.5% crit rate. Another defense gem with 19.5% crit rate. And then a crit rate gem with 22% resist. So he's going for more damage here versus just survivability, which I can understand right there. Okay. Dark John. She's on a broken set. Looks like there'd be nothing extravagant going on here. Dark Birdie. Once again, nothing extravagant going on here. Plenty of HP because of his HP aggression and adrenaline, though. Cherry, she's on a Conviction set. Not really useful in my opinion. Freaking, what is it? Dark Slime Soldier, which I haven't seen in ever. Fully booked up with a gem set on him. So let's take a look because he's here. Defense gem, HP gem, and then a defense gem once again. Tank type with Elemental Edge. I Like, not even hating on Avvas. It's just, why? Single target, elemental edge, tank type. His attack stat isn't even 2k. What are you doing? Why does this exist? What is wrong with you guys? There's also Bolby, Dark Katine, Dark Mr. C. He's on a ruin set though, with an attack gem, a crit damage gem, and then another attack gem. So what is that? 40%. What is his stalker? 50%. Okay. So with his 3-star skill, which is his pretty much his damage skill, because his other skill, obviously, like fire, Cernunos, and stuff like that, is obviously more for healing. That's acceptable. You get away with this. You do get away with this. Dark Snow White on an intuition set. Nothing extravagant right there. Dark Odin on a protection set. No resist. Second Dark Wild Thing. She's on a broken set, but she's sitting at nearly, what is that, 60% resist. But with books, she goes to 50%, as we saw from the other ones. So can't really complain right there. But dude, it's 2 Dark Wild Things, dude. Wow. Dark Harley, which is not a good Astromon. Just for the investment wise and what you get out of her, it's just like, why do you have her? But maybe it's for the Astro Guide, if not for World Boss, but I'm sure he's not really using her. Dark Hunter on a Siphon set. This is the second freaking Hunter we've seen on a Siphon set, man. Is there something that we need to talk about? But crit rate gem on him. An attack gem with 21% resist. And then another attack gem with 13% resist. I definitely do think it's a smart idea though. I'm kind of hating on him just because he's able to get pretty much some good, decent dragon sets for sure, which is something I definitely need to work on in the future. But it makes sense though, because you want to get to his 5-star skill as quickly as possible, and if you're doing this manually, having the ability to decide in between crowd control and getting some damage off of him can make sense depending on what area he's being used in. Dark Spark is also on an SP Siphon set, but he has literally like no resist, so maybe this was for PvE only, because in PvP, unless he's not being targeted, there's no point of him having the Siphon set, because unless he gets it off like first turn, I would just crowd control him ASAP. Dark Shadow, only Evo 2 though. He's sitting at 83% crit rate though, with HP, crit rate, and then attack. Okay. Can't hate him on too much though, because he's only Evo 2. And then Dark Merlin, he's on a Pugilist set, hasn't really touched him. He's just weird flexing, but okaying this Dark Merlin at this point in time. And he's like, you guys, I do have Dark Merlin. He's at Evo 2, but unlike you freaking nerds over here, I don't need him. I don't need him. There's also some Dark Venus action over here on a broken set. 2 of them on a broken set. This one's on a pretty set. Let me see here. Let's go with this one just because she looks pretty. They're all Evo 2, so no Evo 3 Venuses, which kind of sucks, but it's quite a expensive and long investment if he was the Evo 3 her through World Boss, which I can understand the apprehension of doing so for, you know, Venus, but there's no real replacement for Dark Venus. Like, you can get the great value version, but there's no real replacement of her at this point in time. But she's rocking a defense gem with 12.5% recovery, recovery gem with 7% resist, and then an HP gem with 14% recovery. And I think that pretty much sums up the account review, you guys. I didn't think I would go in depth with this, but since he's over level 60, and this was supposed to be done a while ago, I did feel like I needed to make sure I get my job done here. But wonderful cast of Astromon, my dude. There's definitely a lot of light and dark mons that you can take advantage of, especially in a PvP situation. And in terms of Titans, I'm no expert at them, but it seems to be that you do have a good role going on here. But my overall suggestion for your account in the future is not so much of focusing on Astromons in general, but the Astromons that you do have, I feel like there's a lot of sets that are kind of being compromised with crit damage, crit rate, and attack. And obviously, as you move more towards like the in-game type of stuff going on here, I would probably aim more towards the crit damage attack versus the whole crit rate, crit damage attack, because there's a compromisation right there where you're just losing out on that extra attack stat. And Your Titan damage is probably a lot superior to mine due to your gem sets, but if you want the best bang for your buck, then I think in the future at least I would try to kind of get away from the whole crit damage, crit rate attack, and just focus more so on crit damage attack. But that's pretty much easier said than done, so I definitely understand if you trying to compromise and getting the most damage as you can at this point in time out of it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. See ya.